The NFL draft is days away, so today I'm going to give you my top 200 big board for the 2026 NFL draft class. Special thanks to our friends over at Mars Men. More on them a little bit later, but let's go ahead. Get into this sucker. Starting with 200. Of course, we got to start from the bottom. Got a couple of running backs. Got Keelan Black out of Indiana at 200, and then Jaden Ott out of Oklahoma. Jaden Ott, last couple of years, where did the production go, right? Where did it go? But he had a good Senior Bowl, tested out well. Might be a guy worth taking a shot on if you're looking for that home run back. Keelan Black just runs hard as hell. I believe he actually had really good, relatively good testing. I think it was actually a little bit surprising. I want to go take a gander at that real quick. Ends up running a 4.45. Yeah, that's kind of shocking. But still, not that dynamic. Doesn't create a lot of forced missed tackles. He just runs hard. Still, love that dude. We got at 198, Jack Kelly, linebacker out of BYU. He's all right. He's adequate. Tested out better than I thought. Good size. Still some limitations there. Couple of wide receivers that are just really good after the catch. Unfortunately, testing wasn't so hot. It's Eric McAllister at TCU, and then Jordan Hudson at SMU. McAllister actually very interesting. Apparently had some legit character red flags that I didn't know until who brought it up to me. I think it was Wasted Talent, the Raiders content creator, and I was like, "What? Hold on." I go back and I just Google it. I'm like, "Oh man, he's got some stuff." Bryson Eason out of Tennessee, coming in at 6'2", 330 pounds, here at 195. DT, talked about him in my DT's video where I covered like 35 DTs. It's a good watch. It really is. This cat I just actually watched a couple of days ago, Jackson Kuwach, at Miami, Ohio, formerly of Ohio State. Linebacker, 6'4", 232 pounds, real easy athlete, really bouncy. Big reason I watched him is because I heard Mike Renner bring him up on Check the Mic with Steve Palzola and Sam Motson. Yeah, I mean, easy mover. Golly, do I question the play strength? No real take on ability, if I'm being honest. And when it came to the MAC in general, not a lot of coverage reps to really pull from. Didn't really play a lot of man coverage, and for the most part, he was a zone dropper. So I think a little bit more of a project, but he's got that prototypical build and just a very good athlete. So kind of willing to roll the dice on his potential. Matt Golbin, the center out of Michigan State. The dude is just a wall. He is a roadblock at a center. I don't think he's a crazy good athlete, but I think he's fine. I think he's solid. Let me talk to you. It may not look it, but I am on the wrong side of 30. The fact of the matter is, once you turn 30, things that were once easy are easy no more. I'm about to be a father of 4, and I'm not trying to have the dad bod. So I'm working out, but my recoveries take almost twice as long. There's some mornings where I don't roll out of bed. I have to be dragged. And just some days it feels like I'm moving through the mud. And that's because you start losing testosterone around age 30. That's why I'm here to talk about our friends over at Mars Men. What you probably already know is your body creates testosterone. What you don't know is that there's this protein that locks a lot of that testosterone away so you can't access it. It's like having money in the bank, but your debit card doesn't work. Well, Mars Men is that new debit card, and it gets you access to that locked up testosterone. That way you can harness it and feel more energy. And it's no needles, no synthetics. I got it right here. It's just 5 pills you take with your first morning of the day. Super easy, super chill, and bing, bam, boom. I'm moving, I'm grooving. Mars Men gave me the opportunity to try them out, and I can honestly say that my recovery from my workouts has gone a lot smoother. That's saying a lot because we all know leg day sore could be 4 to 5 days in some cases. But also my natural energy stays steady throughout the day rather than like with coffee or an energy drink where you get that initial buzz and then bam, that massive crash, like you're falling off a cliff. Marsmen, they're made in the US, they're third party tested. They even have a 90-day money back guarantee, so there's no risk. But fun little fact about them, 91% of their users have reported higher levels. That's insane. For a limited time, you, friends of the channel, are going to get 50% off lifetime plus free shipping and 3 free gifts when you go to mengotomars.com. I repeat, mengotomars.com, and you're going to get 50% off lifetime on top of 3 free gifts. They're also available on Amazon. And at the end, when you go to checkout, they're going to ask, hey, how'd you hear about us? Who sent you? Please let them know it was your boy, Broshmo, just in case you did not know so, because it's a great way to support the channel. Damani Jackson at 192. You know I liked this guy. I put the flag on him preseason. Didn't come to fruition. Got benched a couple of times. Tested out well, though. Checks a lot of boxes when it comes to size, length, weight, speed, all that good stuff. Still willing to take a shot on him. We got Bo Stevens, guard out of Iowa, 191. Not going to wow you with his strength. Not going to wow you with his athleticism. Just a good guard. It's as simple as that. At 190, we got Josh Cuevas, the security blanket tight end there at Alabama. We got Kobe Young out of Georgia, wide receiver at 189. 6'5", 221 pounds. Had a good 40 time, but I think for the most part, he's not going to do a lot of crazy things as a route runner, but he's going to win with size. His speed's going to sneak up on you on vertical routes. Another guy with the character red flag, though, admittedly, that was dropped. We got Tanner Koziol, tight end out of Houston, 6'7", 247. Big slot. Very big slot. We got Trey Moore, edge, out. Well, I think he's probably going to be an off-ball linebacker, but edge out of Texas, kind of a tweener. He's 6'1", 245, doesn't have ideal length. I think he tested out relatively solid, though. Just pulling up the numbers now, but yeah, he lacks ideal length. Yeah, ran a 4.54. Just make the transition to straight up off-ball linebacker, and I think that'd be all right. He kind of dabbled in that over at Texas, but he's a fun player, formerly of UTSA a couple of years ago. Landon Robinson, DT out of Navy. He's short, he's stout, he's explosive. And then at 185, the running back out of Penn State, or at least one of the running backs out of Penn State, Nicholas Singleton. A lot of tools, great size, just never took that next step, dated back to his freshman year, unfortunately. I just don't think he plays the running back position well. I think he could be a good pass catcher out of the backfield. He brings return experience, but he's very much a home run guy, just with bad vision. Wade Woodaz. More people talk about this dude. He's fast. He's physical. He's fun to watch. He was a good linebacker at Clemson, but he's here at 148, or excuse me, 184. Not at 148 quite yet. All right, let's go up the list. Tyler Onyedim, the DT out of Texas A&M. Very solid pass rusher. Just kind of undersized. David Gusta out of Kentucky, another DT. 6'2", 313. Straight up penetrate. You watch his tape and it's like, bro, what are we doing? Kentucky had to be telling him, just go into the backfield, or else this dude's run discipline is dog water. Good size, good athlete, though. We got Seth McGowan, his teammate on the other side of the football, running back out of Kentucky, 6 foot, 223 pounds. Not a lot of tread on the tires because of a red flag, you could call got it run in with the law, where he ended up missing 3 years of his collegiate career. He will be 25 when he begins his rookie season. But good straight line athlete. Not very dynamic, I think, but he can be hard to bring down. Let's get Gojo up in here. There you go, bud. My boy Jacoby Thomas, the safety out of Miami at 180. Really good ball skills, good size. Not a true center fielder, not great range. We got Jamari Taylor, running back out of Virginia, 5'10, 205. Those were his best sizes that I got for him. Again, I pulled this from if they went to an All-Star Bowl, the Combine, and the Pro Day. I just take their best numbers. I think that's just, hey, just show me what this guy is at their best, right? He's stout. He's fun, man. He's a hard runner. I don't think there's really much in the pass game for him. Just a lot of his stuff were screens. I mean, he was still productive in that regard. I think he had over 300 receiving yards last year. 253. I was close, but he was still productive in that regard. What else we got up here? We got Riley Nowakowski, the tight end. He's really an H-back, fullback, out of Indiana. It's tough to bring down. He's got good hands. I normally wouldn't have a fullback type. I normally wouldn't have a fullback draftable. You have to do much more. He does much more. We got Xavier Sori, linebacker out of Arkansas, and Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker out of Arizona State. They were on the same Senior Bowl team. I thought they were very similar. Actually, Sori, I walked away with like, oh, I can't wait to watch this dude's film. And then you go watch the film, and honestly, Elliott has the better film. To be fair, Sori was used as a hybrid edge off-ball linebacker, and it kind of muddied his projection. So I just bunched these guys in the same spot. As you can see, 5th round grade on them. We got Anise Cooper out of Miami, 6'6", 347 pounds, playing guard there for the Canes. Solid player. We got Devin Moore, corner out of Florida. I'm probably going to be lower on him than everybody. Maybe just the general consensus, but great size. Couple of shoulder injuries. Don't necessarily always love the coverage skills with him. I think still there's a lot to still work on. And then I got Jaeger Burton, the center out of Kentucky, 6'4", 312 pounds. I believe he has experience at both guard spots as well. Brings a little versatility. Tested out hella well, man. Solid frame, good length, good movement skills. A lot of lunging in the run game, but hey, that happens. George Gumbs Jr., edge out of Florida. He's formerly a tight end, so he's still kind of working on that transition, but he's got a lot of tools that makes him interesting. Thaddeus Dixon at North Carolina coming in at 171. We're going to have to pick up the pace here. We're 10 minutes in. Golly. Solid. He had a good Senior Bowl. They're at corner, but simply there are better players than him in this draft class. Jacoby Lane. I don't like Jacoby Lane. Not personally, but I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy, but I don't like the tape. A lot of people were high on him early. Shoot, not even like before the season, but also during the season, then even after the season, and then the Senior Bowl, and then suddenly no one talks about him. It's like they just got to his tape. There's a lot you could maybe develop, but I feel like at this point, if he hasn't got it yet, he's probably wide receiver 3 or 4 in the NFL. Jalen Husky is kind of your prototypical Maryland tight end, right? Comes downhill, plays with some physicality, even though maybe the size doesn't tell you he would. He does. He's got a good film. Nadame Tucker, honestly, just because he's going to be 26, his rookie season probably should be further down on the list, but very good Senior Bowl, very good season there for Western Michigan. Let's keep going. Let's look at 167. As I got Aaron Hall. I talked about him a little bit more in my DT video because he is my DT 15. 6'4", 296. I think I got him at 297 though, more recently. Yeah, I got him 297 a little bit more recently. So hey, cool. He's a pound closer to 300, which is kind of the threshold. But he had some good tape. I'm surprised more people don't talk about him. I thought he had a strong showing at the Senior Bowl during the Senior Bowl week. BJ Payne, safety at Kansas State. Great size, great athleticism. Don't know how to play safety. Trust him in the box. That's about all he can do. We got Damon Claiborne, running back out of Wake Forest, explosive as hell. Undersized back, though, with a fumbling issue. What are we going to do about it? Probably can't even effort player in pass pro, but that's about all I'm going to say. Marlon Klein out of Michigan, tight end, coming here at 164. Intriguing tools, but at this point, it's just tools. Got a couple of guards, big hefty guards at that. I got Armaj Reed Adams, out of Texas A&M, and then I have Jeremiah Wright out of Auburn. Both of these cats have pretty fun film. They're built well, very powerful. Wright, you like how chippy he was, or chirpy he was at the Senior Bowl. I would say Adams he has the better film, though. Joe Royer got a couple of these prototypical build tight ends. So we got Joe Royer at 161 out of Cincinnati. We got Will Kachmerick at Ohio State at 160. I think there's more upside as a pass catcher with Kachmerick, but I know he's the better blocker right now. Royer's had some moments, but he's just simply hard to bring down. Very good tight end in his own right and good inline option. Isaiah World, tackle out of Oregon at 159. He's hurt. He's banged up. Not an ideal season. We got Billy Scrouth, the guard out of Notre Dame. Honestly, he's kind of here for the same reason. Just injuries. For him, it's more apparent. Last 2 years, he's been banged up. Didn't even get a test out this whole draft process. Dalen Bentley, if he wasn't 25, I'd have him much higher. But I'm sorry, he's old as a prospect with only 1 year of production. But hey, he's got good tape from last season. We got a couple of guards. We got Fabechi Wiwu, guard out of Oklahoma. Like his tape, not the most fleet of foot, but he's strong. He plays with urgency. Logan Taylor, I don't think I've talked about him on the channel. I did just give him a watch probably a week or so ago. I think there's a shot he could stay at tackle in the NFL. I think he played right tackle this past season. Or, excuse me, left. Oh, no, he mainly played right guard this season for Boston College. Had 3 starts at left tackle, though, and a start at right guard, or right tackle. I think he could stick at tackle. I think there's a shot. But at least he brings that versatility to play multiple positions. We got Cole Wisniewski, the safety out at Texas Tech. This dude's just a freaking heat-seeking missile. Takario Davis, corner out of Washington, hasn't had necessarily the most productive few years. It's not like he's been bad, but you go 2 years back and you're like, oh, this guy's going to explode. He's going to have a breakout year. We were talking about him as a potential first-round pick, and that never came to fruition in terms of the product he put on the field. Travis Burke, I haven't talked about this cat. I got an early day 3 grade on him. He's at 152, so just outside of my top 150. I've seen some day 2 love with him, and I get it. This dude's built like Stretch Gordon, right? Long frame, 6'9", 332 pounds. He's got that NFL finisher mentality, which is probably why a lot of people have him so high up. It moves relatively well, but I mean, dude, at that size, it's going to be easy to get under his pads. You could probably live with that, but I feel like he could be plotting out in space. There's a lot of times he just relies a lot on that size, and I wish there was a little bit more nuance to his game, specifically, I guess, as a pooler or a climber in the run game. But that aggressive nature has also led to 14 penalties over the last 2 seasons. Yikes. All right, we got Cyrus Allen, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Was a big fan of his during the Senior Bowl. Good showing. He was the best receiver on Cincinnati last season. Go to the film. Don't tell me anyone else, because you would be lying. Jaden Roberts. I still believe in Jaden Roberts. 6'5", 245. Guard out of Alabama. He's got some traits. Last season, he was kind of in and out of the lineup because of a concussion. We got Torian York, linebacker out of Texas A&M. Dude's a dog, and I'm willing to still bet on that. I think some people probably still have him close to the top 100, and I don't blame him. He's a dog. Ephesians Prysock, corner out of Washington, great size, 6'3", 196. Ran well, had a very good Senior Bowl week. There is a lot of, oh, he was really good this game. Oh, he was really bad this game last year on tape. I got a couple of the quarterbacks here. We got Taylor Green at 146 and then Cole Payton at 147. Sure, you could give them shots at quarterback, but they have such good tools. Why not move them to a tight end or even wide receiver? Just saying. Brennan Thompson, wide receiver out of Mississippi State. He's undersized, 5'9", 164. But very fast, but don't get it twisted. He's not just an athlete playing football. You can tell with just how he maneuvers after the catch. I'm a big fan of Eric Rivers out of Georgia Tech. He's also undersized at 5'10", 179. Very smooth athlete. So I'm willing to bet on either of those guys somewhere early day 3. And then I have Enrique Cruz Jr. out of Kansas. Probably ends up being a guard. But, I mean, he checks the boxes to stay a tackle, but this man really, really sucks at, I guess, anticipating, or he gets got by the inside move. Whatever inside counter you have, he's probably going to overset and give you just a free path to go cross his face. How do you mitigate that? You move him into guard. Parker Brailsford, he's a hell of a good center. Didn't have a great year, but he was also working with a peg leg. He was banged up, but he's sub 300. I can't put him too high, but I'm still a big fan of his. Will Lee at 141, 6'2", 189. Not the most crazy athletically gifted corner, but he is a corner that will lay hands. Got another couple of quarterbacks here. I just think these are guys that have decently high backup potential, and that's Cade Klubnik out of Clemson at 139 and at 140. Carson Beck out of Miami. Do you, baby? Do you? 138. I mentioned this cat in my safeties video because I watched him after I already done my corners video, but Latrell McCutcheon out of Houston. Good size, 6'2", 191. Very much a press corner. I think he does a good job at jamming at the line. There's some pop in his hands. He's athletic enough to mirror players down the field. Problem is, he kind of just face guards too much and doesn't turn around and make a play on the ball. No career interceptions. But he's my corner 15. I was pleasantly surprised by him. All right, where are we at? We got Romello Height, edge out of Texas Tech. He's undersized. He's an older prospect. I just can't get behind him. I'm sorry. Kamari Ramsey. And by saying I just can't get behind him, 137 is still relatively high. 4th round grade. Come on. Kamari Ramsey, the safety out of USC, probably needs to play a split high role. Didn't look great in the slot this past season. It wasn't awful, but I thought it'd be better. Zane Duran at 135, DT out of Penn State. This kind of begins this range of these undersized or really bursty and twitchy defensive interior players. At 133 and 134, we have a couple of guards. I got Micah Morris out of Georgia. He's 6'5", 350 pounds. He's got some interesting traits at that size, being able to test out like he did. It's very encouraging. You watch the film and it's like, either I think for him it's a conditioning thing, because I feel like late in games he just doesn't play with the same angst as he does early on. Some people maybe think he just lacks urgency. Could be one of the two. DJ Campbell out of Texas. He's just a good player, man. He tested actually better than I thought he would. 6'3", 321 pounds. That thick frame. But definitely needs to work on the technique. This dude leaves his chest open for anybody and anyone to come put hands on. It's led to a lot of holding calls over the last 2 years for him. In general, 17 penalties the last 2 years. Michael Heldman, the edge out of Central Michigan. I think he's just very well built. He might not have ideal length, but I think sooner rather than later, he could be a 3-down player that you could work into the rotation. We got Austin Barber out of Florida, just kind of a good tackle that's not going to really wow you in any one area. We got Chandler Rivers, which, admittedly, at 130, I'm going to be lower on him than the general draft community. I think he's a slot only. Granted, tested out better than I thought he would, but I still don't feel the play speed is quite up to his testing, and I simply think there's better corners in this class. We got Justin Jefferson. This is my dude. Out of Alabama. I wish he came in a little bigger. He's 6 foot, 223, but was very good in coverage this past year for Alabama. Matter of fact, you already see it at 125. I have Harold Perkins Jr. out of LSU. They are coming in with the same size, but I would argue they have very different skill sets. With Perkins being very good blitzer, though he was kind of developing as an off-ball linebacker. 2 tight ends here, Michael Trigg at 127, and then Jack Endries at 128. Trigg, a lot of tools there in terms of the frame and the ability to put on size. Didn't test out, but I didn't feel like he was slow on film. And then his vert was, for me, it was uncharacteristically bad. Now, he does have some character red flags, basically with just how he kind of flamed out of 2 Power 4 programs in USC and Ole Miss. We got going back to 126. We got Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. Isaac Guerendo, guys. Isaac Guerendo. Great size, insane straight line speed. If you watch the film, very much a cut and go type of guy. Doesn't break a lot of tackles unless it's just guys slipping off of him. I don't think he's that dynamic. He had a 0.19% missed tackle rate per carry. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State at 124. I believe at the very least, he's got some fun tools. Katron Allen, model of consistency, running back out of Penn State at 123. Again, not very dynamic, but he's going to be, I think, he's a relatively fine enough pass blocker. But he's going to be someone that could be a part of a running back rotation, whether that's an RB2 or an RB3. Come in and just get some tough yards for you. I talked about this guy in my tight end video, Carson Ryan out of BYU. Very pleasantly surprised with his tape. If you want a more in-depth look at him, again, go check out my tight end video. I'm just kind of placing these guys right now. We got Jake Slaughter, center out of Florida. Just good, just absolutely just a solid player. What was his testing? I want to go and check. His testing was fine. It was solid. I would say it was on par with the guys out there ahead of him. Now, yeah, 6'5". That's a little tall, especially in pass pro. I mean, and you watch his tape, and I feel like with the combination of, sometimes I don't get leverage because I'm so tall. Oh, no, I need more sand in the pants. It's not a great combination at center. It's just not. We got 2 DTs here. One at 119, Jordan Vandenberg out of Georgia Tech. He's 6'3", 310. Reminds me a bit of Braden Fisk in terms of the play style. Get to the backfield, create havoc. He's got the burst and the play strength to do that and do that well, but does leave a little bit desired as a run defender. Caleb Proctor, he's getting day 2 buzz. He's getting second round buzz at this point, man. People are really high on him. 6'2", 295. I think he ended up having 35-inch arms when it was all set. 33-inch arms when it was all said and done. Let me go take a peek. Yep, 33-inch arms. Fun player, really good athlete. All right, let's move on to Aiden Fisher, linebacker out of Indiana. Another dude that's just a dog. I kind of put him and Terry and York side by side. Fisher ended up having really good, like solid testing. Makes you feel a little bit better about him. We have a trio of tackles with J.C. Davis out of Illinois. Might not end up being a tackle, might end up being better at guard. But he's at 117 and 116. Emil Wagner, I'm willing to bet on the tools. I very much think he's probably a developmental guy. But I thought his tape was relatively better than it was in 2024. Diego Pounds out of Ole Miss, 6'6", 335 pounds. You kind of worry with him about, I guess what he does is a run blocker. Does he have that dog in him to go and do that? Because he's got, honestly, a good build at 6'6", 332 pounds. I think there is some pop there. Maybe that's giving him too much credit, because I just don't feel like there's much movement in the run game. But I mean, you'll see him keeping the legs churning and moving through contact. Honestly, you could just go to the Miami Ole Miss game, see what he did against the likes of Ruben Bain consistently. Not saying he won a lot. There were some wins, there were some losses. But I think that was probably the game that sold me on him being kind of maybe a fringe top 100 guy. But yeah, no, I walked away pleasantly surprised, which that says a lot in, well, this tackle class in general, because it does get thin. All right. We got we got two wide receivers. Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri, 5'11", 179, excuse me. Deon Burks out of Oklahoma, 5'10", 184. These are your undersized slot players. Here they are. I think Burke, really great vertical speed. I like a little bit of what Coleman does on all three levels of the field a little bit better. Oh, this cat was another late watch for me. It was Keegan Trost out of Missouri. Him being older, I almost just kind of wrote him off entirely. I'm like, I don't need to watch him probably. But I decided to go watch him. And stocky build, kind of perfect for guard. And he's just such an easy mover, man. He plays with urgency. He gets out into space and he actually lands his blocks. I think he gets good depth as a pass protector. And he's doing this at guard or at tackle, by the way. And I think he does a good job of mirroring pass rushers. However, again, an older prospect. And I thought there are times where he gets a little lungy, which, I mean, you kind of see that a lot in college. I think the hands can be inconsistent. You could attack wide or just being able to reset them and try to either maintain or regain leverage. The lack of arm length means he has to kick into guard, which honestly I think that's kind of perfect for him. Brian Parker II, I think it's a good call that he's formerly the tackle out of Duke. Profile's better inside. You worry about the play strength, so if you're going to worry about that, maybe having him at center is better than guard. But I think, you get him in just kind of a wide zone blocking scheme, right? It's kind of ideal. Cage Casey out of Boise State. I still believe in him being a guard. But he had some good film. Couple of tight ends, man. Justin Jolie, tight end out of NC State. Put on some pounds. Doesn't nearly look as sudden or shifty. But he was still hella effective. Very good after the catch. Very good at the catch point. And then Oscar Delp. Oscar Delp, been waiting for this dude to break out the last two seasons. Just, it never came. Kind of got lost in, I guess, the shuffle there at tight end. But he was consistently the most trusted tight end there for Georgia. His testing was phenomenal. I'm willing to bet he's going to be a better pro than college player. Sam Heck, got the center here out of Kansas State, 6'4", 303 pounds. Solid mover. I'm so butthurt people try to comp him to Tanner Bortolini. I don't think he's that level of athlete, but the film's good with him. I'm glad that he got on the right side of 300 pounds, but he is a fluid athlete, does a good job getting leverage, keeping his hands inside and tight. We got Julian Neal, corner out of Arkansas. Might end up a safety at that size, 6'2", 206, but he tested out pretty darn well. Couple of wide receivers. Skyler Bell, man. I think he probably goes into the third round with how everyone feels about him. And you could obviously make the case Antonio Williams out of Clemson ends up going to the second or early third as well. It's just, hey, I got guys I like better ahead of him. But both these cats, I think, probably end up in the slot. If I had to bet on one of them being able to work both outside and inside, or maybe primarily outside, I think I would go with Bell. Just Antonio Williams, everything that he does is just made for the slot. Okay, let's move on. We're close to getting into the top 100 here. So Dalen Everett, corner out of Georgia, tested out well, but I think he either moves to safety or he plays in a man-heavy scheme because I don't like him in zone. I just don't. Great straight line speed though. I knew he was going to be fast, just not that fast. What he ended up running like a 4.3. What was it? 4.38. 4.38. There we go. Another couple of wide receivers here. We got Josh Cameron rounding out everyone outside of that top 100. The wide receiver out of Baylor, great size, legitimately looks built like a running back. Really good hands, but needs a lot more polish when it comes to him being a route runner. Bryce Lance, you could honestly say the same thing. Bro ran screen slants and goes at North Dakota State. I don't think he's got natural ball skills. I know the drop rate would say otherwise, but you watch, there's a lot of body catches there. So I'm a little more hesitant. Now let's really dive into the top 100 here. As Rashawn Benny, there we go. Rashawn Benny out of Michigan, 6'3", 305 pounds. So he got on the right side of 300 pounds for DT. He 33-inch arms, kind of nuts. So you can put on the weight. I think he plays the run actually pretty darn well. I almost thought about putting him ahead of Grayson Holton. But I mean, Holton's not too far ahead of him. We'll talk about him in a sec. But I could talk about him now. Okay, Grayson Holton at 92, and I might as well talk about the rest of the DTs on here. Yeah, I feel like at this point, let's just kind of talk about players at positions. So I got Grayson Holton at 92. He's very undersized. I know it says 6'2", 300. I don't know if he's going to be 300 throughout his NFL career. He's got sub 32-inch arms, but he's a really good pass rusher. He's an effort player in the run game. Nick Barrett, I'm really banking on him taking a massive jump as a pass rusher somewhere down the line, but I know he has got an extremely high floor as a run defender. Nick Barrett there out of South Carolina, 6'3", 315 pounds. He just checks a box when it comes to size. Then a little bit higher there at 85, Chris McLennan out of Missouri, 6'4", 315 pounds. Adequate run defender that brings a lot more as a pass rusher, I would say, compared to Nick Barrett. And then at going back to 98, I got Bud Clark out of TCU. I once thought this cat was probably a slot only. A couple of years ago, he moved to more of a traditional safety role, and I think last year it really clicked for him. Had a very good Senior Bowl, but someone that could probably work in the box, in the slot, even split high. Emmett Johnson, running back out of Nebraska. I know people look at the 40 time and be like, he's not that fast. He gets the top speed stupid fast, though. It may not be a fast top speed, but he gets there really quick. Go watch the UCLA game. Dude was unstoppable. Love what he could do as a pass catcher as well. A couple of tweener-ish edge players in Jayshon Barham out of Michigan. This year was essentially his first full season playing edge, even though he started the first two games at off-ball linebacker. But he's a fun player that, honestly, for a couple of years, we've been kind of waiting for him to make the transition. And then Kayron Crawford out of Auburn, hasn't played a lot of football. I think he just started playing football his senior year of high school, I believe. Yep, senior year of high school. Started his career at Arkansas State. And then finally got to be got to be an actual starter for the first time in his career for Auburn. So very limited experience, but you see the get off, you see the closing speed. I mean, dude's a good athlete. You saw him in coverage a ton last year. You go to watch Auburn defensive film, he's the player that pops. Just gonna say that. We got Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU. I think he's just probably got the highest ceiling of these backup level quarterbacks, which that's not true with Drew Aller. But I don't think I don't think I question Nussmeier coming into the league and being a good backup. I just don't have questions about that. LT Overton, he's another tweener, just not as light as the other two guys I talked about. Probably ends up being a 3-4 end. He showed up to his pro day at 287, so that just tells me he knows his role. He's probably going to go play that in the NFL. We got Caleb Alarms or at a TCU. Very impressive combine. Very much a downhill defender with a very good blitz and upside. Everything else is kind of mediocre, though, with him. Jalen Kilgore, safety, slot corner out of South Carolina, tested well. Just an interesting body type at 6'1", 218. We got Ted Hurst out of Georgia State, wide receiver. If he had better hands, not to say he doesn't have ball skills, because he does. He can make some highlight catches. The hands just aren't consistent. If he had better ball skills, he'd be much higher on the list. Trey Zune, the third, out of Texas A&M. I think legitimately there's a shot he could play all 5 positions for you. I think he's kind of turned into the Robert Hainsey in this draft class. Eli Raridan. I've been seeing the praises of Eli Raridan for a couple of weeks now. 6'6", 250 pounds, tight end out of Notre Dame. Can play in line. He's got the body to do that, but he's also got some good speed to him, sneaky speed. Bryce Betcher, linebacker out of Oregon. Dude's got a great nose for the football. He's everywhere. I don't get why people don't have him in their top 100. It's a good linebacker class. Maybe people are just not putting the linebackers high up there, even though I would argue they should be. And I'm the guy that probably wouldn't draft a linebacker in the top 10. And I'm saying that, right? Okay. We got Malik Muhammad, corner out of Texas. He's still filling out the frame, got up to 190. Showed that, he's willing to try out press at the Senior Bowl, but it's still kind of a work in progress. I think he probably works best as a zone-heavy corner, though. Charles Demmons, out of Stephen F. Austin, another corner here. Been talking about this cat as my sleeper since right before the Senior Bowl. Went out, had a solid week in Mobile, tested out really well, 4.41, 4.42, 40. Very much a quarters heavy corner, maybe even cover 3. All right. We got a couple of thick boys at wide receiver, Malachi Fields and Elijah Surratt. Honestly, Surratt might get the bump just because he has the better testing than Fields. But, I mean, they're in the same tier. I don't really have to switch them around. Coming in at 78, Jonah Coleman. Probably would have been my running back 2 if he tested out and kind of eased some of the athleticism concerns. But I still believe in that 2024 film. He was banged up last year. I love these bowl and bowl build running backs. At 76, Durzon Striblin, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. I've been talking about this dude for like a month now. Don't get why people didn't talk about him that much out of the combine. You watch the film, you may not see the speed on film like he performed at the combine, because that was like 4.39? Let's go see. He ran a 4.36, even better. Golly. But I mean, even the explosive drills were really solid. The agility times were really good with him. But you go watch the film, you might not feel that speed, but you see a guy that can win at all 3 levels of the field. Got a couple of edge rushers. Gabe Akis out of Illinois And then deny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. A lot of guys I still think are scratching the surface of their potential. At 73, safety Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State. He has the most fumble recoveries that have been reversed and called back in my viewing experience in history. Let's see. We got Big Citrus DT out of Iowa State at 62, 300 or at 6'2", 322 pounds. A little more twitched up than you would expect a guy his size to be. Traden Stukes coming in out of Arizona, one of the most versatile defensive backs in this class. He can play safety, slot, box, outside corner. Problem is, will be 25. And you know what? I'm talking about him. Let's move back down to 77, Keontae Scott, who I think is pigeonholed in the slot. Sure, maybe he could play a box safety role, but I want him around the line of scrimmage because of how good he is against the run and how good he is as a blitzer. So another guy, he's going to be 25 his rookie year, so I kind of have them in the same vicinity. Max Clare out of Ohio State, tight end. Got more inline work this year. Made me a happy boy. Couple of guards. Jalen Farmer, guard out of Kentucky at 68. Jennings Dunker, the ginger guard. Well, played right tackle, but probably profiles better as a guard in the NFL. Out of Iowa. Farmer, I think he's got a little bit better tools, even though he does remind me a bit of Jonas Avenea, and that should be a good thing. Unfortunately, he had a rough rookie year. But Jennings Dunker, I feel very confident in him just being a very good run blocker in the NFL. Sure, you'll figure out the pass pro thing, but he's a high effort player that'll get after it. Moving on up to 67, I got Genesis Smith, safety out of Arizona. I believe in the ball skills. He might never have that dog in him in the run game. Kind of is what it is at this point, but he's got the ball skills. He's got the play strength. I'm willing to buy into that. Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. 6 foot, 224 pounds. Some people list him as a safety like Mel Kiper. I mean, I think he could play like a big slot role, but I don't think he's playing I don't think he's playing split high at safety. I just don't. I got some edge players here. 64, Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee. I believe he didn't test out completely. Oh, no, he came in and ran. I was just kind of hoping for better numbers, but his explosive numbers were all right. They were solid. He's got close to 35-inch arms, but, I mean, if he's going to stick around that 242, no one's going to believe that he can play the run. That's why he's here. R. Mason Thomas, 6'2", 244. He's got sub-ideal arm length. What did it come out at? 31 and 5/8 inch arms. Not ideal, but he's got some good tape, and that's why he's this far up for me, which probably is really low because I think he's in the top 50 for a lot of people. Davidson Igbinosun at 63, corner at Ohio State. He's a big press man corner there. We got Josiah Trotter, linebacker out of Missouri at 62. Plays the run exceptionally well. Needs to figure it out in coverage. Zachariah Branch, which we could talk about for a second. Coming in at 61, he's an undersized slot receiver that was just tossed screens all of the last 2 years at 2 different college programs. But, I mean, I think we've seen the speed and the twitch. He can be a good route runner. Just need someone to expand his route tree. He had the run-in with the law. It was like misdemeanor obstruction and prowling. Sounds like it from a lot of people I'm seeing that it's kind of a big nothing burger, not that serious. I'm just going to wait for more news on that. Eli Stowers, though, coming here at 60, tested out well. Tight end by name only, kind of a glorified slot or big wide receiver at 6'4", 242, but good ball skills, good after the catch. Caleb Tiernan, tackle, maybe guard because of the lack of length. Out of Northwestern, he's kind of a my guy. Again, won't wow you with his speed or his strength. He's just exceptionally solid, exceptionally good. Chris Brazzell, wide receiver out of Tennessee. You wish he was had a little more meat on the bones at 6'4", 198. how will that play strength play, or maybe potential lack of play at the NFL, but he ran really fast at that size. The film is pretty darn solid as well. Daryl Jackson Jr., DT out of Florida State, been waiting for the last couple of years for him to blow up as a pass rusher. That never really came to fruition. He's a good space eater. We got at 56, AJ Halsey, safety out of LSU. He's stout at 6 foot, 215, but he's got some of the best instincts in this class. Jadarian Price, my running back too, coming here at 55, 5'10", 208. He's, I think, reminiscent to some regard as maybe a Blake Corum or a Kyron Williams. I think he's got relatively solid vision. He bounces around and jump cuts well. Just maybe not great home run speed. Cassius Howe here at 54. He's just an absolute outlier. I feel like I don't really need to go into too much depth about that. We've done it this whole draft cycle. Lee Hunter at 53. I wish I had a better vert. Is what it is, though. I'm still battling whether to put him up there with do I have Caleb Banks really that high? Wow. That might be something I bring down. Because I thought Caleb Banks and Lee Hunter were much closer together. But Lee Hunter's got some really good tape. Yeah, I'm going to have to reevaluate that. I don't know how I feel about that now in hindsight. All right, we got Keelan Rutledge, guard out of Georgia Tech. Chase Besantis, guard out of Texas A&M. Rutledge, I've been talking about ever since before the Senior Bowl. I watched this film and I was like, oh, wow. I was watching some of these Senior Bowl guys and before I got to Mobile, and I wasn't expecting to watch day 2 film, and that's what Rutledge's film is. And I'm glad that he's kind of talked about in that vein. Besantis has just been exceptionally solid over his career. We got D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. He would be a first-round player easy. He'd be probably a top 20 player easy if he had better length and was, 2 inches taller. 3 inches taller. Who am I kidding? But yeah, he's got sub 30-inch arms, but pound for pound, he's got that dog in him. He's strong. He's savvy. He won't back down, and he's got the athletic skills to back that up as well. Keith Abney's been my dude, roller skating keen at the age of 13, but I think he's a fluid mover. You've probably heard the term. He's more quick than fast. I think that kind of applies to Keith Abney. At 5'10", 187 with 30-inch arms. Might be pigeonholed in the slot, though. We got Jake Goldie, linebacker out of Cincinnati. He's played edge a big chunk of his career. Made the move to off-ball linebacker for Cincinnati. He really just played big slot. That might be where you play him in the NFL, or you play him in a Sam linebacker role. Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina. These corners are all going to be bunched together. I'm telling you, man. But he's here at 47. I got Malachi Lawrence, edge out of Central Florida after some amazing testing. He's got some good film as a pass rusher, though. Some may question, not the bend, but perhaps he lets himself get pushed vertically or past the pocket a little too easy. But he does, honestly, the biggest thing he needs to work on is the run game. Jeremy Bernard's my dude. I think he's Juwan Jennings, wide receiver out of Alabama. He's at 45. At 44, Anthony Hilt Jr., linebacker out of Texas. Checks a lot of boxes, in my opinion, athletically, physically. Wish he played with a little bit more take-on ability, but I still think he's relatively solid in all aspects of the linebacker position, whether it be blitzing, tackling, playing the run, in coverage. He does those all pretty darn well. Derek Moore's been my dude since the Senior Bowl. I thought he looked fantastic. I played with him as potential first rounder, but I do think he's a top 50 player. We got Chris Bell. People, man, guys, he's going to be ready by training camp. He's working out now. If he was healthy, he'd be a first rounder. I am surprised unless something comes out that no, he's medically a huge question mark. I don't see him falling out of the second round, though I see people kind of agree with that notion. Caleb Banks, big reason I'm talking about moving him down. The foot injury is concerning. It kept him out during the season. And then he broke it at the combine. Still ran really fast on a broken foot, though. However, he came into the season with the ankle aggravated, re-aggravated it after missing some time. This dude's sample size is close to nothing. It's the back half of 2024, and that's it. Just a lot of questions, man. Just a lot of questions. Chris Johnson's here at 40 out of San Diego State. I toss and turn about putting him ahead of Colton Hood, and I just can't do it just because I don't think Chris Johnson is, I don't think he handles physicality well, and I don't think he's going to be made for every scheme. But I like him in a zone, off zone. No, that's not. I like him in off coverage in general. He's got the athletic ability to be able to stick in man. This is it. I just don't like him in press. I get worried down the field. Will he get mollywopped if by either bigger pass catchers or pass catchers that just want it more? Will he get bodied by those guys? I don't know. Manuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo here at 39, 11 forced fumbles. That's really all you got to say. People like him as a potential first rounder. Couple of tackles here that I have questions with their power profile. Caleb Lomu out of Utah at 37. Blake Miller out of Clemson at 38. Then I got Caden McDonald, DT, out of Ohio State at 36, which the pass rush not upside, but production was a little bit better. You could blame some of that on the scheme or what he was asked to do at Ohio State, but he's an elite run defender. Then I have these two linebackers, CJ Allen at 34 out of Georgia, Jacob Rodriguez at 35 out of Texas Tech. I think whether it's the film or the potential not testing of CJ Allen, these guys leave you wanting maybe a little bit more. You still have some questions about them. But I'm firmly in the camp of they're going to be good linebackers in the NFL. That's where I'm at. And now, I guess you could say, kind of begins these guys that can maybe sneak into the first round. I mean, they're going to have to. We're at 33. There's 32 picks in the first round. But Colton Hood, just very good at a lot of things, but I'm kind of suspect on him playing a lot of man because I don't necessarily trust his ability to continue to cover across the field. But dude's got some ball skills. I don't want to take away from that. And I mean, shoot. He also ran well. Casey Recepcion has been also someone who's a my guy, but the ball skills, man, gotta be more consistent. A lot of them are focus drops, though. But he can create after the catch. He expanded the route tree this year at A&M. Akeem Mesidor is here at 31. He's old. He's a one-contract guy. It's kind of where I'm at with it. I think he's a lot more of a bull in a china shop and I don't want to say he doesn't come away with a pass rush game plan, but I think it's more so he can play very frantically that it could look a little sloppy. And then I also have the younger Keldrick Folk here, who's got a lot of tools, but unfortunately doesn't have the production really to warrant it. I think the question's still going to be, are we going to keep you at edge or are we going to just add the weight and make you a DT? Ty Simpson's here at 29. I think he's a top 50 player. I know him not having those starts maybe makes you hesitate to throw a first-round grade on him, and I think that's fair. For me, it's just not everything was his fault at Alabama, but I do think there were some growing pains with him being a first-time starter, and I could see some of those growing pains being there in the NFL early on. So part of me just doesn't want that in the first round, but I get the idea of getting a fifth-year option on him. In terms of tools, I think he's got the tools. I think he's got a solid enough arm. I think he's got a good processor. He's got better than what people talk about athletic ability. I'm not saying this dude's incredibly mobile, but he's not a statue either. He can extend the play. And then two tackles here. Max Ihanachor at 27, Caden Proctor at 28. Two guys with very good, very intriguing tools. Emmanuel Pregnon, guard out of Oregon, man. I don't care if he's 24 to start his rookie year. I think he's plug and play. He was the best player on Oregon's offensive line. Then I got two edge rushers that I don't know if they're going to be, and I use this term a lot. I don't know if they're going to be Batmans in the NFL, but I think they could be very solid Robins. So edge twos, right? That, and I think they're 3-down players. TJ Parker out of Clemson, Zion Young out of Missouri. I think they play the run well. Honestly, they both play with really heavy hands. Parker didn't take that next jump as a pass rusher. Some would argue he even regressed a little bit. Zion Young was very much just a early down run defender in 2024. That's what his tapes said to me. And then this year, oh wow, he put it together as a pass rusher. Can he continue to do that in the NFL is the question. All right, 23, Denzel Boston. I really thought I was going to have him higher. I'm actually a little shocked by this. But I thought I was gonna have him higher, but prototypical X wide receiver size, utter monster at the catch point. I got two DTs. These are my DT1, DT2, or DT1A and DT1B. Christian Miller out of Georgia. I've been seeing the praises of Christian Miller. That's nothing new. And then we got Peter Woods out of Clemson, who not the best season, and you kind of wanted a little bit more from his testing. Dylan Thieneman is here at 20. I think he's closer to Caleb Downs than he is to safety 3 in this class. Thieneman absolutely rocked this year, and also he had a very good offseason draft process. We got Monroe Freeland at 19. He just checks a lot of boxes. He doesn't have questions like some of the tackles ahead of him on this list, as you can see them there at 12 and 13. Oh, he's going to be a tackle in the NFL. The question is, can he put it together and be a good tackle in the NFL? Then let's just move to number 12, Francis Maui-Noah out of Miami. Number 13, Spencer Fano out of Utah. Fano, just under 33 inches. Phenomenal athlete, though. Has been getting some work at center over this offseason draft process. Francis Maui-Noah, some people are like, oh, he's going to be a really good guard in the NFL, but I believe he has earned the right to fail at tackle. I really do. I think he can play tackle. We'll see. We'll see. Avion Terrell, man, runs a 4.6 40, and suddenly everyone's off of him, and you're like, what? He ran a 4.6 40? Yeah, he tweaked his hammy and then ran the 40, and then proceeded with the rest of the workout. I like that. He's got that dog in him. Someone should have told him not to run, though. Someone should have done it. You watch the tape. It's hella good. He's got 8 forced fumbles the last 2 years. Nutty. Let's see. Where are we at? Jordan Tyson's here at 17. He'd be higher on my list if not for the injury woes. And I get it. Injuries are kind of hard to anticipate and whatnot. It just... hamstrings, soft tissue issues can be very, very tricky and lead you to just missing time. The fact that it's coming off of the same leg as the ACL injury from 2022. I think it was 2022. Let me check. Yeah, 2022. I think is a little alarming. Kenny Sadiq here at 16 out of Oregon. Didn't have the Brock Bowers type of year. Yeah, in terms of production, but he was still hella good. People are competent to Vernon Davis. I get it. I mean, he's coming in at 6'3", 244, and he's running a sub 4.4. That's just utterly insane. I got Venga Ioane, guard out of Penn State here at 15. I believe going into the season, he was at like 29th on my big board. He was my guard 1. And here he is at the end of the draft process, 14 spots higher. Love to see it. I'm an Omar Cooper mark. What can I say? Wide receiver out of Indiana. Baby got yak. I love yak. Baby got yak. Yak, yak. Yeah, man. People are like, I can't believe we're reaching on him. I'm like, it feels like for the last month and a half, we've been talking about this dude going in the top 20 easy. People just don't believe it. Dude, Omar Cooper's fantastic. If he falls out of the top 20, someone's going to get a steal. All right. That just leaves me really my top technically 11. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I got the corners right here at 10 and 11. Yeah, I'm sticking with Jermon McCoy as my corner one, but it's really a toss-up between him and Mansour Delane. I think McCoy has the best tape of anyone in this draft class at the corner position. It just happened to take place in 2024. There's reports about the degenerative knee coming off the ACL. I don't know how much to believe in that. I'm not doing, like, all I know is he had the ACL injury. I don't know if that's just kind of smoke and mirrors when it comes to reports about the knee. But I'm just going to bank on, listen, he's healthy. He performed at his pro day. His 2024 tape's great. Mansour Delane, though, he took that step up. 2024 was supposed to be a breakout year for him, kind of solidify himself as a top 50 player in the 2025 draft class. Didn't come to fruition. Actually, a down year at Virginia Tech. Moves to a system that's more acclimate. I think I'm making up words here, but that is more, that complements his skill set better there with Blake Baker in LSU. Had a phenomenal season. Was a first-team All-American. Great year for Mansour Delane. But yeah, they're just neck and neck. I got David Bailey at 9. There might be some character concerns. Most people that talk about him, teammates and coaches, speak very highly of him. So it could have been just 2 instances in the last 2 years where emotions got the best of him. Is what it is. Phenomenal pass rusher. Probably will develop into a adequate run defender. But yeah, I mean, you're drafting these guys in the top 10, top 20 because of what they can do to affect the pass. Wide receivers are bunched up here. Makai Lemon, Carnell Tate. I've told y'all, Makai Lemon's my dude. I'm willing to stand on business when it comes to Makai Lemon. Ooh, honestly, I don't want to put him ahead of Sonny Styles. I think I might do that, actually. Let me just piss everyone off here real quick and adjust my rankings. I think I'm going to do it. No, but I mean, dude, Sonny Styles. Yeah, no, I'm going to leave it. Sonny Styles is such a blue chip. If I'm being real, though, I think I might take... I don't know. I really don't know, actually. When it comes to Sonny Styles and like Makai Lemon, Carnell Tate, David Bailey, I think they just might be in the same tier for me. And I think that's just kind of a top 20 tier. Because again, this is an outlier class. The top end talent is not elite. Interesting. Anyway, I love Yak. Makai Lemon has that. Carnell Tate expanded the game. Or at least his route tree, was able to attack more vertically, was actually probably one of the best vertical receivers in the football, in college football. He certainly is in this draft class. Some of the elite hands as well. Honestly, couldn't go wrong with either guy, I think. Now we get to Sonny Styles. He's done as much as you can, I think, to be a top 10 pick. Even though he's playing the linebacker position, be like, oh my gosh, linebacker, why is it so devalued? Because of the learning curve. That's why it's devalued. I don't think it's devalued in terms of, well, you could say contracts as well, but I think you see a lot of these old heads get work easy at the linebacker, these veteran linebackers, just because it's a very high IQ, cerebral type of position. And it takes guys some time to get acclimated to the NFL's way of things. And you're dealing with more complex defenses. You're dealing with a faster pace, or at least game speed, you know? But Sonny Styles, everything I've seen from him, he'd be the guy I'm willing to bank on. He's either Fred Warner or he's Tremaine Edmonds, and Tremaine Edmonds is a starter in the NFL and not a bad one. Just saying. Arvell Reese, he's high because of what he can do as a pass rusher. Some people would argue, well, Sonny Styles, what about him? Well, what about him and what he can do as a pass rusher? And listen, I don't think Sonny Styles has got the play strength like that, like Arvell Reese does, pound for pound. Arvell Reese, I think he can cut it on the. He can cut it in the trenches. There we go. I don't know why it took me a minute to think about what to say there, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, Sonny Styles, he's a good linebacker. Arvell Reese, people would argue he'd be my linebacker one anyway, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I really don't. If it wasn't for what he brought as a pass rusher, chance I would probably have Styles still linebacker one over Reese, but it's because of what he could do as a pass rusher. And I believe in that. And I believe in the value and the worth of developing that. Yeah, Jeremiah Love, man. And I'm thinking about now dropping Jeremiah Love to 5. He's just a hell of a good player, dude. For me, I've seen so many different comps on him. For me, the closest one's Jonathan Taylor. Built exceptionally well. Really good straight line speed. Could go and get after it. Jeremiah Love is an elite back as a prospect. Now, whatever tier of elite you want to put him in, sure. I don't think he's in the Bijan or the Saquon tier. I think I would have Ashton Genty because I absolutely loved Ashton Genty. I would have Ashton Genty ahead of him. But then you could probably talk about him in this Gibbs Love. I think Gibbs and Love, that's kind of the tier. Which, hey, it's still blue chip, right? And then Caleb Downs, man, dude is special at safety. He would go higher in the draft and no one would question it if safety was more valuable. He's been probably the best safety prospect we've seen since Kyle Hamilton. Not a comparison. It's a comparison in terms of how elite of a prospect Caleb Downs is. Ruben Maine, I get the red flags. The NFL has known about it for a while. The disturbing part for me, well, I guess, yes, a life was lost. That is very disturbing. But it seems like Bain and the family of the victim, what they've come to an understanding, and they wish the best for each other. To me, it's more alarming that he was pulled over again in 2025 for essentially reckless driving. Again, those charges were dropped though. I mean, it helps that, which is so stupid to say, but it helps that in that first case, he wasn't speeding, he wasn't drunk. I wish I had more information on what that was, but looking at him just as the prospect, he'd be my top non-quarterback prospect. And when it comes to Fernando Mendoza, he is number one because he is a quarterback. Now, where would he fall if I was just saying, position value, to hell with it? Probably, I don't think he'd get out of my top 10, if I'm being real. He'd probably be here at 8. Yeah. Maybe? No. I don't know. This is tricky. This is why I just take positional value into consideration. But there it is. We're over an hour. That's my top 150. Let me know what you think. Did I say 150? 200. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, a special thanks to our friends over at Mars Men. Check them on out. Links in the description. It's also the pinned comment. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.